It's definitely a foul, but they don't throw it in the box, they play it short. They're trying to play around the back, trying to get the ball into the feet of Pritchard and Ahmad.
Aqua playing it forward. Gets a second bite of the cherry as it becomes a 50-50 in the midfield. Doughty turns that forward. Knight falling here in Bedfordshire now. Sunderland having to make sure the lights don't go out on their hopes of a return to the Premier League. Patterson inside his own penalty area. They played right through the box in the face of the press. Gooch turning, trying to get away from Drama, who's I beg your pardon, it's tackled him cleanly, then whips the crowd up as he tried to get into a position to drive it inside the penalty area. That's blocked and goes out of play for a Luton throw. 2-0 to Rob Edwards' man.
Well, that sort of energy and commitment is exactly what the crowd feed off.
Edwards hoping for back-to-back promotions, having won League Two with Forest Green last year, joining the Watford job, albeit for no longer than any other Watford manager, so he was quickly here. And Watford's loss has been Luton's gain. Now Doughty has in fact gone out of play. Away to our right-hand side, it's the other side of the corner flag, so it is a corner. It's their third of the game. They've scored from their first two. In comes this one, and he's flicked at the near post by Jordan Clark and headed away almost off the line. Out of play for another corner.
What a chance! What a chance! Everyone expecting that ball deep, where the Luton big men are waiting for it. But Clark, who's what, 5'10" himself, not the biggest, free at the near post, should have done better.
So Doughty will take this one as well. And it's swung in deeper, Patterson going up for it, and it's headed past him over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. And Sunderland not defending either of those corners with a great degree of conviction, but neither ended up in the net, and that's a start for them.
No, they didn't win either. The first balls into the area. Jordan Clark won the first header, a little flick, should have done better. And the second one, I think it was Osho who headed over the top of the bar. But two balls into the area where Luton win first contact on both.
Sunderland work it out from the back, short as is their way. 09 trying to play it through the midfield. They get it back, the Black Cats having temporarily lost it. Gooch finding Ahmad. Ahmad flicked it with his right foot into his left knee. Amari Bell wins it back. He's then just given a shove to the ground. No foul though by Gelhardt, and Gelhardt in possession is able to bring it forward. Tries to ride the first challenge. That's very unorthodox defending from Nakamba, who's almost lying on the deck, and in doing so raised his top leg as he was lying on his side and made the tackle with that, and then got back to his feet to bring it away. Sunderland have it again. Doughty wins it back. Still really scrappy and frenetic. It goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken by Trey Hume for Sunderland. 56 gone, 2-0 Luton.
Oh, it is hustle and bustle, isn't it, at the start of the second half. There's no real pattern to the game. Pressure in midfield from both sides. You should see the energy from the crowd, but the energy from the benches as well, particularly the Luton bench. Every time there's a tackle, they're up, they're cheering, they're right behind their side, trying to fire the crowd up even more, as if they need it.
Sunderland are making a change. Alex Pritchard, who was a fitness doubt coming into this, is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Aji Alice, the one-time West Ham player. He's missed the last 10 weeks with a thigh injury. They've patched him up sufficiently to try and get half an hour out of him tonight, and so they now do have an orthodox centre-half on the field.
Yeah, I wonder what they'll do then, whether they decide to switch the formation. Be interesting to see.
It doesn't look like it to start with, that he's playing on the left of three centre-halves. But that's how they're working things at the moment, and they'll move Gooch further forward to accommodate that. They've got the option of moving Gooch out to sort of more right wing back position. Adebayo going down inside the penalty area, but it was a tumble. No appeals from him. It should be a penalty, although half of the Kenilworth stand weren't up for it. They could go to a back four with Elise as an orthodox left back, which would seem a little bit counterintuitive, really, bearing in mind he's centre half with a bit of height. Here's Ahmad bringing it forward and then giving it away. One back in the midfield effectively by Doughty for Luton. Osho down for Cody Drama towards halfway. Little right-footed ball chipped forward and bounces on the edge of the Sunderland penalty area, straight into the hands of Patterson.
It does look like it's a 4. Lyndon Goocher right back, Elise at left back. That's what it looks like. It looks like Clark now and Patrick Roberts pushing further up. As I said at half-time, I'd be surprised if Tony Mowbray didn't go back to a back 4. It feels like he prefers that system.
Oh, Jack Clark with a shot takes the deflection. The deflection wrong-footed the goalkeeper, but took all the sting out of the shot. So Horvat had the opportunity just to get his balance back and move back across the face of his 6-yard box to make the save.
Yeah, continual rotation. Looks like Ahmad's now on the right-hand side. Patrick Roberts has come more centrally, ahead of Dan Neil and Ekwa.
So they've got Gucci right back, and they've got Hume at centre-half alongside 09. They've got Elise at left-back, and then they've got Neil and Ekwa sitting in the midfield. Gelhardt almost as a false line with Robertson behind him, and Clark on the left and Ahmad on the right. And here is Jack Clark. Back towards 09. Ekwa can turn. He showed too much of that to Nakamba. One back by Mpanzu, good ball forward. Adebayo, right-hand side of the penalty area, he's in and just delayed. And Elise came back, made the tackle and smuggled it out for a corner.
Well, the change of shape has given them an immediate problem. Left more space on the transition. And Adebayo ran into that space. Elise was caught out of position. Did brilliantly, actually, to get back and make the challenge. A clean challenge. He won the ball. Simon Hooper immediately pointing to the ball to say that's what he won, and he did. Really good tackle, but there's a lot of space for Adebayo to run to. Just delayed his effort on goal.
He scored at Sunderland on Saturday. It was his first in 11. He's scored 10 goals this season, and not nearly as prolific as he was last season. But Luton have another corner. Scored from the first 2, caused problems from the 2 they've had in this half so far. There's going to be another left-footed in-swinger from Doughty, headed away at the near post. Really good defensive header coming in from Roberts, and steers it past his own far post, and now to play for another corner.
Anthony Patterson, the goalkeeper, scrambling across his goal as well. Actually went into the side netting inside the goal before Roberts eventually cleared.
And this corner will be taken by Jordan Clark in front of that clock. If you've ever been to Kenilworth Road, you'll know what I mean. It's just a big round clock over on the far side, which we might be seeing the last of today. You never know. In comes the latest corner. Osho is in there, headed back down and whacked away right-footed from the edge of the penalty area. Amari Bell's got it inside the centre circle. Forward from him. So we might be seeing the last of it, because if they do get promoted through these playoffs, as the ball is swung in here and Patterson claims it, and that stand on the far side's coming down, and they're going to have to rebuild it. So will the clock go? That's hardly the biggest question in the grand scheme of tonight, but certainly one that some might be thinking about. The ball is over on the right hand side with Gelhardt. Now Ekwa, and Ekwa goes back for 09. 2-0 to Luton. But a goal for Sunderland, and they're back level on aggregate, and in a position potentially to take the game to extra time. 09 gets it through the legs of Adebayo, out towards the right-hand touchline. Another Sunderland change might be made in a moment as the Black Cats try and bring it forward here. Good, strong attacking play. It's a really good whistling run from Roberts, and goes out of play for a goal kick, because the run much better than the shot that followed it. But he come in off that right flank, and he made a good 30-40 yards, got himself into a shooting position, maybe slightly off balance when he struck it, and it just tamely drifted wide.
Sunderland have to believe there's at least half an hour left in this game for them to try and find a goal. But from what we've seen, it's going to take something special, some individual brilliance. Brilliant run from Patrick Roberts. He drove past 3 or 4 Luton challenges before dragging his shot wide. But they've really struggled to create too much from open play. So it's going to take something very special to try and get them the goal that they need.
Well, I said that tomorrow it's Manchester City against Real Madrid, and the winners of this game will find out their Wembley opponents, as well as Middlesbrough take on Coventry, the other Championship playoff semi-final second leg. Thursday, Newcastle can move within 3 points of a return to the Champions League. Brighton can move within 3 points of a top 6 finish. They play each other to 7:30 kick-off, and it's live and exclusive to TalkSport. Also Thursday, West Ham aim for their first European final in 47 years, defending a 2-1 first leg lead in the Netherlands against AZ Alkmaar. And that's an 8 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport 2. And Sheffield Wednesday will try and make playoff history, overturning a 4-goal deficit when they take on Peterborough. 8 o'clock on the TalkSport app on Thursday night. All 3 games covered for you. Luton work the ball forward. It's a high one that's drifted straight out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our right-hand side. The second change made by Sunderland sees Mishu come on for Joe Gelhardt.
Yeah, so what does that do? How does that affect the team? It looks like it's just a straight swap.
Well, Mishu is central midfielder by trade, but he can play as a false 9.
Yeah, false 9, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? It looks like he and Ahmad are going to play as 2 false 9s.
Made 8 appearances for PSG's first team. Mishu, who's on loan from the Paris club. He scored against Sheffield United, but that remains his only goal so far. He dropped short, wanted the ball into feet there. It was not past him. The average age of this team going down all the time. With Mishu coming on, Pritchard going off. It's down much nearer 23 than 24 now. 20 minutes gone in the second half, and Tony Mowbray's youngsters have 25 minutes to score the goal that takes us to extra time, or it will be Luton that will be going to Wembley. High ball played forward, Sunderland try and get it out. Jack Clark flicking it down. They're brought down in the midfield here by Dan Neil. A back for Jack Clark. Hasn't been as effective in this game as many previous others so far. Strong challenge comes in from 09. No foul. Jack Clark can bring it away. Clark trying to emerge between 2 Luton players, can't do so. And Panzu winning it back, trying to keep his balance in the midfield. He was fouled. And it's a free kick to Luton, 25 yards outside the Sunderland penalty area.
They've just won more than 50-50s, Luton. When the ball's dropped in midfield, they've won the majority of them. Having said that, I've been impressed with Dan Neil at the heart of midfield. As Sunderland, he's shown good composure when on the ball. And he looks like he'll take it in tight areas. He's not rushed, he's not fazed by the atmosphere.
2-0 it remains, and 0-0 it remains, incidentally, in the Milan derby in the Champions League tonight. So into a 2-goal aggregate lead with about 20 minutes to go there. In comes the free kick from Jordan Clark, and it's headed away by Onan inside his own penalty area, and an opportunity for Sunderland to try and bring it clear, but couldn't get it too far. And players from both sides almost ending up in the Luton dugout over on the far side. Play resumed with a throw that Alfie Doughty's going to take. Doughty with the throw. Back to him from Paddy Ruddock. And then a long ball over the top from Lockyer. Adebayo trying to spin his man. Fouled him. And it's a free kick that's been won by Gooch. He's just picked up a bang to the rib cage in the process. He's okay. He's going to be able to continue back on his feet, hobbling, but back on his feet without the need for treatment, and Sunderland in a hurry to get on with things.
Yeah, they are. It was Ekwa who just dragged him up, said, come on, time's running out, we've got to get on with it.
4 from Neil. Alice at left back. Thought he wanted to throw, he hasn't. And he's very angry, just keeps his emotions in check. And drops the ball on the touchline for a throw that Gabe Osho is going to take. And Osho's appearance in a playoff final will be the 100th game of his career if Luton make it. He's thrown it forward now at the right-hand touchline. Brought back down at the back by Elise for Sunderland. Gooch having to chest it down, and he did chest it down rather than use his arm. Just wanted a little bit too much time as Rodigan Penzu put him under pressure. And the ball is cleared, goes out of play for another throw, and this one will be taken by Elise on the Sunderland left-hand side. We're midway through the second half, 2-0 to Luton.
Yeah, there's real appreciation from the Luton supporters for the effort of their side. As I said, every time the ball's loose, you feel as though it's a Luton shirt that's going to win it. And it was Doughty this time, closing down a couple of times to win a big challenge inside Sunderland's half.
Now, a mistake there by Osho, but not with a capital M, as he just miscontrolled a ball that was played through. And he had 2 Sunderland players converging on him. He was able to rectify matters quickly enough, get it back to his goalkeeper. Ball goes out of play for a Sunderland throw deep in their right back position, and Lockyer waves everybody forward and tells them to push him in. and try and condense play down in that Sunderland right-back area and stop them being able to get out. And Pelly Kampanzu and Alfie Doherty have gone across to do exactly that. Still, they haven't taken the throw because there are no immediate options for Gooch here. Now he just drops it short of the feet of Roberts. It goes back to Gooch, it's deflected on its way out. Ekwa heads it away, not effectively on the edge of his own penalty area, and Luton will be able to pick it up again. Doughty cleverly working it down towards the dead ball line. Kampanzu's there, back for Doughty again. Doughty's got support behind him in the form of Amari Bell. Bell rolling the studs of his left boot over the top of the ball, then turns and goes back for Lockyer. Lockyer thought about going to Osho. He could see that the pressure was coming, so he's gone back for his goalkeeper instead, and Ethan Horvath smacks it forward long again. Look at the Carlton Morris, who will get there on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Gooch dispossesses him and then does well to flick it off Morris and out of play for a Sunderland throw.
So strong, Carlton Morris just rolls Lyndon Gooch so easily. And as far as Luton are concerned, the ball's in the right area of the pitch. It's in Sunderland's own final third, and it's been there for quite some time.
Carlton Morris, a player who has scored a winning goal in a playoff semi-final second leg in the past. It was back in his Shrewsbury days. A fair few in the Luton side have playoff experience. Most of the Sunderland team do, of course, as well. This bears much more resemblance to the Sunderland side that played in the playoffs last season to Luton side playing in the Luton side that played in the playoffs last year 12 months ago. It's been a side that's been broadly rebuilt in the last 12 months here. Crowd here tonight, incidentally, at the Kenny is 10,013, with just over 1,000 of those, 1,036 coming from Sunderland. Here's Neil playing it forward. Mishu couldn't get it into his stride, and it's going to be cleared easily enough down towards the Sunderland right for Cody Drammer, and then will be knocked away from the edge of his own penalty area by Osho. Headed down through the midfield. Sunderland win it back. Ekwa. Adebayo is still down. And still down. It's up to Sunderland to play on, or the referee to stop it. Mishu down towards Elise. Adebayo is now back on his feet. He's okay. Elise back for Mishu. Neil rolling it through the centre circle. More action on the Sunderland bench over on the far touchline, and I think there'll be further shuffling of the pack from Tony Mowbray and Mark Venus in a moment. Roberts has got it. He'll try to bulldoze his way through single-handedly again. We've seen him try that on a couple of occasions. Didn't come off for him. Luton will break quickly. It's Morris on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Checks back inside. Can't find a teammate though. Ekwa sorted that, did really well. And then the two of them with the ball between the feet of Morris just get involved. Morris got back to his feet, still in possession, which was almost a master stroke. He tries to win a corner, ends up conceding the throw. It's well defended by Pierre Ekwa.
Yeah, it was well defended. Sunderland just had a period of possession, but everything is in front of Luton. They've not once tested them in behind. Everybody wants to come to feet, everybody wants the ball to feet. Nobody wants to spin in behind that Luton defence and use their pace to do so.
Yeah, they need to. They're going to get themselves back into the game, create something. I mean, this second half, they've had one shot on target, Sunderland. Luton haven't had any, but Luton don't need any. That's the bottom line. And Sunderland in the game as a whole have had 2 shots on target. Both have had 10 attempts. Ball cleared from away to our left-hand side by Horvath as Inter, with Lautaro Martinez, make it 1-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. They're going through to the Champions League final. They'll take on either Manchester City or Real Madrid, and we'll find out tomorrow who it's going to be, live from the Etihad here on Talk Sport. 7 o'clock we're on air for an 8 o'clock kickoff. Ajay Elise to Dan Neil in the midfield for Sunderland. To his right hand side for Ekwa. Into the feet of Mishu, straight back. They're stringing the passes together and they're making slow, steady progress, but still everything, as Matt was saying, is in front of that Luton back line. Easy to defend. Now they'll try and get in between the lines, past Nakamba, but he's recovered. Neil goes out to the right for Gooch. Gooch to Pat Roberts. Roberts level the edge of the Luton penalty area. Flicks it back for Gooch again. Ahmad will take over, and Luton have done well to keep him pretty quiet tonight. Ahmad going back for Dan Neil. It's going to take something a little bit spectacular, you feel, for Sunderland to get themselves back into this game. Trailing 2-0, 16 minutes to go. As the ball went back for Trey Hume there, he was receiving it and then directing traffic, trying to persuade players to make runs through him upfield. None was forthcoming. Luton win it back. Hume gets it back for Sunderland within 2-3 seconds, and Neil has it again. Play down to his left. Alice down towards Jack Clark. Clark with an opportunity to try and take on Cody Drama. Checks back, getting it onto his right foot, can find a man. Mishu turning it away, giving it away, and then winning it back from Carlton Morris, who was surveying his options. Neil then goes back for 09. This is still inside Luton territory with Sunderland trailing 2-0. Dan Neil back for Ekwa. It's going to be a double change for Sunderland in a moment in the next break in play. Neil down towards Jack Clark. Clark winning a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Drama committed himself, and it's a free kick dead level with the edge of the box and midway between the left-hand touchline and the left-hand side of the penalty area.
Well, it's good football from Sunderland. Good period of possession, easy on the eye, but lacking threat. Luton, everybody behind the ball, everybody in good shape, almost inviting Sunderland to deliver the ball into the box.
Sunderland very neat and tidy from set pieces. Remember, they scored what turned out to be the winning goal on the day at the weekend with a clever movement from Hume, who got in between Morris and Osho to head in. Past two much taller men. Jack Clark standing over this, right-footed, low delivery that was poor, hit the nearest Luton player. I think it was Nakamba, maybe Drama, that it came off. Goes back out towards the right. Ahmad out towards Roberts. Roberts checking back for Ahmad again. Ahmad taking it on, trying to glide inside the area, fell over, and then Carlton Morris is going to be able to get it away, and in getting it away just hammers it 60 yards upfield. But Luton, led by Lockyer, will be able to push out from the back and condense play in midfield, to the extent that Nakamba leading the press. When Hume gets the ball, Hume's forced to go all the way back for his goalkeeper again, and Luton have got out towards halfway.
Yeah, but we're at a point in the game now when actually Luton are sitting back. They know that this scoreline gets them to Wembley. 14 minutes of normal time left. They're happy with the result. They're happy with the scoreline, should I say. And they're just getting everybody now goal side of the ball.
Well, the defensive record is very good, as mentioned in the first half, the second best in the division. Neil picking up the loose ball around the edge of the penalty area, goes wide towards Pat Roberts again. Roberts driving onto his left foot and fires it high and wide into the little pocket of Luton fans away in that corner of the Oak Road stand away to our left. So a double change is going to be made. Just waiting for the numbers to come up on the far side. Who's coming off? Lyndon Gooch is the first man off, so Huggins will come on to replace him, and Barr is also going to be coming on. So Niall Huggins, who came off the bench on Saturday for his first appearance since January, he will come on at fullback, and Abdullah Barr, the Frenchman, whose only goal was the winner at Norwich back in March, is going to come on, and he's replacing Dan Neil, I think. So that's the double change being made by Sunderland with 13 minutes for it to take effect.
Yeah, almost last roll of the dice, isn't it, for Tony Mowbray? His side have scored a lot of goals in the last 15 minutes of matches this season. They're a side that continue to go right to the end, and that's got to be the belief and the hope that his side can find something.
And not encroach on the field of play. So that is at the end of the
Roberts
game.
with the effort over the top.
In your seats
Again, coming in off that right-hand side and looking for the spectacular.
In your seats at the end of the game.
Well, you said almost the last roll. It is the last in terms of the substitutions, because it's changes 3 and 4, but it's the third juncture at which they've made changes, so that's it. Unless they can get it to extra time, they can't bring anybody else off the bench unless there's a concussion problem. Carlton Morris has the ball, led with the edge of the Sunderland penalty area, and he turns, he motions to cross. Barr was deceived by that. It's headed on by Jordan Clark inside the box. Ekwa got a left foot to it and was able to flick it away. Helped on down the left by Jack Clark. Drama's won it back though for Luton. and then nods it down past Nakamba, which wasn't his intention. Mishu trying to win it back. Lockyer leaving it in the end for Doughty, who whacks it back to his goalkeeper, and Luton again able to regroup. 11 minutes to go. 11 minutes plus stoppage time for Sunderland to find a goal. If they don't, then Luton will be through 3-2 on aggregate here on TalkSport. Here's Matt Holland.
There's a lot of popular players amongst the Luton supporters, and Carlton Morris one of them, but Alfie Doughty, I think, has had the biggest praise this evening from the supporters. He's done a lot of good things this evening.
Here's Ahmad inside the penalty area. Mishu let it run. He thought that, I think, Elise was closer in behind him. Horvat is able to pounce on the loose ball just on the edge of the penalty area and make a comfortable stop. You're listening to Luton against Sunderland in the EFL Championship playoff semi-final, live on TalkSport with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. And tomorrow, Laura Woods and Rangers legend Ali McCoyster back. I know McCoyster desperately hoping that Sunderland would be able to get the job done tonight. And they'll be looking back at this evening and looking ahead to Manchester City's Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid. And Gabby Agbolahor as well joining them from 8. And if you're fancying something different on your morning commute, you can check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show weekdays from 6:30 a.m. on Virgin Radio, which you can listen to on DAB or by downloading the app. We've got 10 minutes to go, and it's another Luton corner and a goal from it, and they'll be at Wembley.
Yeah, one more goal for Luton, that's job done. They're almost there, they can sense it, they can smell it, but they're not over the line just yet.
Corner is taken short into the feet of Alfie Doughty, who takes it on inside the penalty area, rolling it back for Adebayo, and he's on the turn, fired it over the bar.
That's a good chance. Sunderland switching off, not expecting the short one, just expecting Luton to bomb it into the box, but they do take the short one. And again, Alfie Doughty, really clever, picks out Adebayo brilliantly, about 12 yards out. Yeah, it's slightly behind him, but really should be hitting the target.
Now here's Barr, it's a lovely turn by Abdullah Barr in the midfield, getting round the press, but then Elise had to throw himself into a challenge. He did win it cleanly, fired the ball forward, it hit Barr, he couldn't control it, and Carlton Morris wins it back, ball from him to Adebayo. Adebayo had the chance to play to his right hand side for Ruddock and Penzu, couldn't, and Luton will get it away. It's 2-0 Luton, 9 to go, 3-2 to Luton on aggregate over the two legs. It's Cody Drama, hens another high ball, sky towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Flick on from Hume is fielded by Patterson before it goes over the line and out of play for a corner. Ekwa down for Elise. Elise to the halfway line for Jack Clark. Clark retraces his steps back inside his own half, goes forward towards Barr. Luton at a stage of the game where the fans are singing them home now. The forward into the feet of Mishu. Mishu inside the centre circle. One Sunderland goal and the whole complexion of the night changes. Not irrevocably, it would take it to extra time, but they need a goal, Sunderland. Jordan Clark, forward out towards the Luton left-hand side for Amari Bell. Bell taking it down towards the corner flag, didn't get too far. Strong challenge comes in on him. Hume conceding the throw.
What's left in the tank for these players? It's been a long season, 46 championship matches, a playoff semi-final, first leg, 82 minutes of a second leg, and everything rests on this last 8 minutes.
So Jordan Clark is coming off here for Luton, who are belatedly making their first change, and it is Campbell that comes on. We're expecting actually that might be a change that they were going to make to the starting lineup tonight. Alan Campbell, the one-time Scottish international, who played in the Scottish Cup final in his Motherwell days, but he has come on, and there's just a straight swap in the midfield. Campbell for Clark. 7 to go, 2-0 Luton. Ball out of play for a throw, taken down towards the corner flag. Adebayo. It's a couple of players snapping at his heels. He wins another throw. That'll do nicely from a Luton perspective. They just want to keep the ball down there under control in an area where Sunderland can't hurt them. We're with TalkSport. 2-0 lead seemed largely comfortable. Osho on 11, Lockyer on 43, both from corners. Carlton Morris back inside the penalty area. Sunderland can bring it away again. And find a little bit of space in the midfield for Mishu. Mishu travelling in possession. Oh, did brilliantly. Wrote 3 challenges. Got away from Campbell. Able to feed it forward. Ahmad making his way forward. Down towards Barr. Bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area. Great turn from him. Gets a better of Drama. Flashes it in. Half cleared. Out towards Ekwa. Neither he nor Nakamba reacted to where the ball was going to bounce in the midfield. It was Roddy Compenso, I beg your pardon. And neither reacted. And that allowed Ekwa the opportunity to recycle it and win it back. Sunderland bring it forward again, and the 1,000 supporters at that end of the ground will them on. Alice into the feet of Clark. Clark going down, no foul. Back on his feet to find Alice. Mishu trying to take it on. Clark can take it on. Can't find a way past Drama. Just heads down, running at defenders at times from Sunderland with no particular guile about it. Just trying to bulldoze their way through inside the penalty area. And he goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Sunderland left with 6 to go.
But a little glimpse there that it's not over, that they do still carry some sort of threat, Sunderland, on the counter. That quick break, the substitutions, that fresh energy, there is still hope.
Elise takes the throw into the feet of Mishu, tried to pass it back to him and played it behind him, and it goes out of play for a Luton throw, which Ekwa retrieves the ball and gives it to Barr to hand to Drama so that it doesn't end up in the crowd to see more seconds wasted. But we are into the final 5 minutes now of normal time. Barr hooking the ball forward. Jack Clark will chase it. Lockyer heads it away. Drama heads it further forward. Then the boot was raised unfairly by Mishu, and Campbell's won a free kick. Lockyer just down, being held back to his feet. Such a cramp maybe, but he's the man that has scored the goal that will take them to Wembley. As things stand right now, Sunderland have only lost one of the last 14 meetings with Luton. Paul Furlong scored twice in the League Cup tie here back in 2007. Black Cats' last league win here won them the championship title under Roy Keane. At the moment they just need 1 goal, a 2-1 defeat here in 90 minutes. From the situation they're in now, would be a glorious scoreline for them. Doughty plays it across the edge of the 6-yard box for Luton, but no one can get on the end of it. Goes out of play for a goal kick, which Patterson will take. By the time he spotted it down, there'll be only 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, just looking at the ground now, with time running out, the security are all around the perimeter of the pitch, sensing that we're close, really close. We know we're close. Luton know they're close to a Wembley final.
There have been a couple of requests on the tannoy, just for nobody to encroach onto the pitch at the end of the game. Now I'll have a little guess with you, that might not be heeded. Ahmad trying to bring the ball forward again. Barr is in space on the Sunderland left if they can switch it. Mishu playing it down towards Elise. Barr has it now. Chance for him to run at Cody Drama. Cuts inside, 25 yards outside the penalty area. Sets up Clark. Clark can't shoot. Ahmad might be able to. Takes it on inside the box. Cleared though by Doughty. He's had an outstanding game tonight, Alfie Doughty.
Yeah, he has. I mean, Sunderland are still pushing, as you'd expect, late on. The season rests on this game. But even up to this point now, 8 to 7 minutes into the game, they've had 1 shot on target. 1 shot, a dribbled effort from Jack Clark into the hands of Forfarth.
The season rests on the next 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. It's not going to be a huge amount added on, certainly no more than 4, and it might only be 3. Ball out for a throw which will be taken on that Sunderland right hand side. Morris back defending. Flicked down the Sunderland right, but they couldn't find Huggins, and it goes out for a throw which will be taken belatedly by Doughty right in front of the assistant referee over on that far touchline. And the Luton fans in front of us rise to their feet again as the clock ticks the game into minute 89, because they know they are really close. And after all the the bad years here at Luton, with everything that happened back in 2008 with the huge points deduction that led to them being relegated out of the league. It took them fair time to come back up, 6 seasons playing in the National League. Now on the verge, potentially, of a return to the Premier League. 90 minutes away if they hold on for the last 5 here. Luton clear again. Ball brought down by 09, who's got the captain's armband now for Sunderland. Ball's with Patterson. Patterson much nearer the edge of the centre circle than the edge of his own penalty area. Luton win it back as it's played forward, but they don't have it back for long. Ekwa back for 09. Still bearing in mind the situation they find themselves in, something of a patience about Sunderland and the way they bring it forward. Now Mishu, though, playing it to his right, trying to inject a little bit of tempo. Roberts, left-footed effort, way over the bar. And out of play for another goal kick. And by the time we take it, I think the game will be in stoppage time.
Yeah, you said it. Really patient build-up from Sunderland, and it is patient, but it has to be patient. They can't just throw the ball in the box, and it's exactly what Luton want, for them to hit it long. They'll win that first ball and they'll pick up the pieces. So they can't do that. They have to continue playing this way. They're doing their best. They have really pushed hard in this last 10-15 minutes or so. They've had a lot of the ball, and they've restricted Luton to... I mean, Luton have sat back, in all fairness, as the games and the minutes are ticking away. They've sat deeper and deeper, invite and let Sunderland have it in front of them, and that unfortunately has been a big problem for Sunderland tonight. Everything has been in front of Luton's defence, nothing in behind.
Luton are in front of Sunderland, 3-2 on aggregate as we go into 4 added minutes. We're in them now, and an opportunity for Sunderland to bring the ball forward. Ahmad out towards that far touchline. Sunderland have to score in the next 4 minutes. Pat Roberts. Luton doing well, but more defending for them to do. Clark wriggling, and Rudder Kampanzu can clear. Brought down by 09 inside the centre circle. Couldn't get the ball cleanly from between his feet for a moment, but he can recycle it out towards Niall Huggins on the Sunderland right hand side. Another opportunity for Ahmad to ride the challenges. Played in towards Mishu. Mishu going down, no foul, and then it's cleared before it gets to Ekwa. Sunderland will pick it up again, but they're inside their own half. 09 square to his goalkeeper. Patterson will bring it forward, taps it into the feet of Ekwa. Ekwa down towards Barr turning. There's a real urgency about Sunderland, but as Matt was saying, they know they can't sacrifice their principles. There's no point, it just won't work. They've got to keep playing the same way, but they've only got 2.5 minutes now to find this goal.
Yeah, credit to Sunderland, because they have played some good stuff tonight, but they've just lacked that clinical edge up front. Luton are tired. They're scrapping, they're fighting for every loose ball, but they look a tired team.
Luton win it back, but they've given a free kick away in the process, which will be taken 7 yards inside the Sunderland half. And it'll be launched forward with 2 minutes of stoppage time to go.
I don't think it will. I think they'll have to play. They won't launch it forward. They're going to play short, surely, and they have done.
Yeah, Clark back for 09. You're absolutely right. 09 out to the right for Diallo. And Ahmad picking it up, taking it towards halfway into through to the Champions League final. They've beaten Milan over on TalkSport 2, 1-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. Sunderland bringing it forward again. It's Huggins, his touch was heavy, and as he pulled it back in the nick of time, he managed to flick it off a Luton player and out for a Sunderland corner. And it could be distilled as simply as this, that the whole season for Sunderland depends on this. Patterson has made his way forward. It's a 93rd minute corner. 2 on the edge of the D, 8 in the penalty area. Swung in, left-footed, high towards the far post and headed away brilliantly by one of the Luton Town defenders. And then cleared up the line, and there's nobody back. It's 3 against 1. Cody Drama, and he rolls it towards goal, and he's missed. He's put it wide. He had 2 options to his left. I mean, Patterson was still 70 yards away from his own penalty area. Drama could have walked the ball into the net, but he went for goal, and he side-footed it wide into the side netting. It's utterly inexplicable. And there is still 40 seconds to go for Sunderland to punish that. And that's a monumental let-off for them. Alice is now forward. It's headed down. One back by Nakamba, cleared by Amari Bell. Headed back by 09. Down towards Trezeguet. Ahmad on the right-hand touchline. Wins the throw. He should be all over. But Sunderland have still got the merest hint of a lifeline.
I'm still rubbing my eyes. I can't quite believe what I've seen. Patterson was, like, as you quite rightly say, 80 yards from goal. Even further, it was 3 versus 1. He had so many options. Pass it to a teammate, roll it into the empty net. He just dribbled it wide.
Sunderland come again. Forward with Mishu. Mishu out to the right-hand side of the penalty area. It stood up very deep, but into the hands of Ethan Horvath. The 4 minutes are up. Oh, there's been Lockyer has pushed Alice over inside the penalty area, and the referee is going to try and calm things down there. There's a yellow card for Alice for his part in that. Is Lockyer going to get booked as well? Doesn't look as though that is the case. Simon Hooper still telling Ethan Horvath to delay the restart. Now puts the yellow card back in his pocket. The Luton fans are singing at Wembley. The Luton players have big beaming grins on their face, because when Ethan Horvath takes this goal kick, I think the full-time whistle will go. Horvath smacks it upfield. Referee happy for a few more seconds yet. Headed on, out of play for a Sunderland throw on the left-hand touchline. 09's going to take it. He's got no options. Gets the ball back, hooks it forward, that's it! Luton are at Wembley. They are in the playoff final. And it goes off in the midfield between Lockyer and Alice again. And players from both sides go and try and calm them down. Fans from Luton Town have run onto the pitch, not many of them in all honesty, to celebrate the moment. Some of the players in orange engulfed by their supporters, delighted with what they've seen. Still finger wagging going on now between Nakamba and Alice in there. And some of the Luton fans are coming and are taunting Sunderland players, who will do well to try and get off down the tunnel as best they can. Luton fans also, just a minority of them, taunting the Sunderland fans away behind that goal, away to the left-hand side. A pitch invasion seems reminiscent of those that Luton weren't happy with this time last year at Huddersfield, when Huddersfield knocked them out in the semi-finals. But tonight the bottom line is Luton have got the job done with goals from Osho and Lockyer, and the fairy tale rise to the Premier League is still on. 9 years after winning promotion out of non-league, Luton are 90 minutes away from the Premier League. Can they replicate the Wimbledon side of the late 70s, early 80s? A 9-year rise from non-league football into the top flight. It's still on. They're 90 minutes away. It will be Luton against Middlesbrough or Coventry at Wembley on Saturday week, because Luton have got the job done tonight, and Sunderland's magnificent season comes to a heartbreaking end in Bedfordshire, done by set pieces and injuries. They've lost 2-0 on the night and 3-2 on aggregate.
Well, they need to get these idiots off the pitch, because they've gone straight to the Sunderland fans, some of these, quite a number of the Luton fans, to taunt them, which isn't clever. There were announcements, stay off the pitch, stay in your seats. That hasn't worked, and there's no real plan seemingly to get these idiots off the pitch. Some of the Sunderland players are still over there actually applauding their own fans. And I made Jim right, they needed to get off and down the tunnel as soon as possible. It's a shame, because the last time they'll see their fans this season. In terms of the players, Luton have got the job done. And I can understand to an extent just how much emotion is going through these Luton fans right now, because this isn't normal, what's happened to this football club. Don't get me wrong, they shouldn't be on the pitch, they shouldn't be taunting Sunderland fans, that's not good at all. But over the years, things have gone against Luton in a massive way. Huge points deductions, sending them down the EFL, sending them down into non-league, relegation after relegation. Dubious owners ripping the heart and soul out of this club. New stadiums promised and never built. It's still happening. 30 years or so of hurt for these Luton Town fans, and now they are one game away from the Premier League. Let's get this right. A decade ago, they're non-league, and they are now one game away from the Premier League. So yes, I understand the emotion, but get yourselves off the pitch. One of the Sunderland players is being escorted towards the tunnel by security as orange smoke bombs are sent out from the crowds on this Kenilworth Road pitch. Loads of them actually are being thrown around, not clever. So as ugly as some of these scenes are, I've got to say there's no real fighting. It's a bit intimidating for those Sunderland fans over there who are trying to say thanks and appreciate their own players and not being allowed to do so. And now more and more fans are coming onto the pitch. It's not a great scene, Matt Holland, I have to say.
It's certainly not. The police now are starting to get a hold of it, and they're starting to push the Luton fans that are goading the Sunderland fans away. Now, Luton, I can totally understand the emotion. Enjoy it by all means, but enjoy it with your own team, with your own players, the ones that have gone through this emotion of the 2 playoff legs and have just beaten Sunderland to get themselves to a Wembley final. By all means, enjoy it with them, but don't go and goad the Sunderland fans. Absolutely no need for that. In fairness to the Sunderland fans, they've reacted well, haven't they? They've dealt with that situation, I think, really well, and the police now are just starting to get a grip of it.
Well, particularly, 12 months ago I was at Huddersfield when Luton lost the second leg of the semi-finals, and there was a lot of frustration from the Luton supporters that night and the Luton management at the way that the Huddersfield fans reacted and behaved, and Luton are doing exactly the same tonight. So, there will be frustration, will be looked at. It's taken police and stewards a long time in the grand scheme of things to get hold of this. A few more police have raced in now, and they have managed to get a cordon near the edge of the penalty area. It has to be said, without the benefit of hindsight, what were they thinking was going to happen when the full-time whistle went, when Luton were qualifying for Wembley? It was always going to happen, and the lack of stewards, I mean, there were quite a few, but palpably there were never enough, and only now have they managed to get hold of things, and you just hope that there's nobody injured in terms of the Luton supporters and the Sunderland supporters over there at that end of the ground, and that all of the Sunderland players particularly managed to get themselves off safely. I'm sure the Luton players did, and clearly hope they did as well, but I'm sure they did. But unedifying scenes, we saw them at the end of quite a few of the playoff games last year, and these second legs are highly charged affairs, and that was a disappointing end, an understandable end with the outpouring of emotion, of course, but nevertheless a disappointing end in some manners, and smoke bombs getting thrown about from Luton fans into the melee of Luton supporters out on the pitch as well.
Yeah, it's almost like anything goes, but you're right, Jim, stewards and police have got a handle on it. There is now a cordon across the pitch separating the Luton fans from the penalty area, really, that leads in front of the Sunderland fans who are still in their pen behind that goal, but not great at all. And you're right to ask the question, what did anyone expect, especially with Luton from the very off tonight? As soon as they came out for the warm-up, the players, and again, understandably, they were whipping up the atmosphere. They needed that atmosphere as well. They needed it. This is a bit more like it. Luton's going to Wembley. Enjoy yourselves. There's no need to intimidate opposing fans. Ridiculous scenes at the end, and I think there was a little bit of naivety perhaps on the part of the stewarding and maybe the policing as well, thinking it was all going to be all right. But at the end of it all, Matt Holland, Luton Town have got the job done, and I think all the injuries and the inexperience of Sunderland meant that they were always going to be second best tonight.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that's what's cost them. They gate crashed the playoffs in many ways. They got there on the last day, real drama on the last day of the championship to get themselves into the playoffs, unable to gate crash the Wembley final, and unfortunately their physicality has let them down, because Luton have scored 3 goals over the course of the 2 legs, all from set pieces, and that's been the big issue for Sunderland over the 2 games. They haven't been able to deal with the physicality of Luton. Played some nice football, They played some inventive, positive football. Tonight they lacked a real edge in the final third. So that was a problem for them, but the physicality ultimately has done them.
Well, fans still dancing around on the pitch. There is separation between those dancing Luton fans and the Sunderland fans. That's a good thing. They've finally got the houses in order. But listen, it's been quite the occasion tonight. One thing I admire about Sunderland is they carried on playing their football, but it was such a physical mismatch. And Luton are there at Wembley. They will meet either Middlesbrough or Coventry in the final. And let me just reiterate what that means. A decade from non-league to Premier League. What an achievement, Matt Holland, that would be for Luton Town Football Club after all that's happened to them.
Absolutely incredible. A meteoric rise from non-league to the verge of the Premier League. They're not there yet. They've still got a job to do. They've got Middlesbrough or Coventry waiting for them at Wembley for that place in the Premier League next season. And then, if that happens, then there's a lot of work to be done here at Kenilworth Road to get themselves ready for it. But now it's better. The atmosphere now is a party atmosphere. The Luton fans are all congregated in front of us, dancing on the pitch and enjoying themselves. That's the way it should be. You should be enjoying this moment because it's been a brilliant run from them. Third in the Championship this season, and now in a Wembley playoff final and on the verge of the Premier League. Sure, enjoy it, and they are doing.
They are singing the Nakamba song as well for their midfielder on loan from Aston Villa. And it's all been achieved by a man who started the season managing Luton's arch rivals, Watford's. As Jim said in commentary, well, Watford's loss is Luton's gain. Matt, Jim, thank you very much. Tomorrow night it's Man City, Real Madrid. Join us at the Etihad from 7 on TalkSport. Winner faces Inter Milan in the Champions League final in Istanbul next month. On TalkSport 2 tomorrow night, it's Middlesbrough, Coventry, and whoever wins that faces Luton at Wembley at the end of May, and all those games will be live on TalkSport. And that's because Sunderland brought their injury-hit, inexperienced young side to the land of the Giants tonight. They got monstered by Luton Town. The Hatters filled this old school ground and enjoyed some old school football. But here's the big story. From non-league to Premier League in less than 10 years, that's what Luton are on the brink of achieving. Any wonder the party has started. The Sports Bar is next on TalkSport. 03717 223344.
But this time will be an in-swinger right into the heart of that 6-yard box. They've got Morris right in front of the goalkeeper. Good header away from Ekwa, brought down by Drama, back out towards Doughty. Can take a touch before delivering a second ball. Lockyer! 2-0 Luton. Great ball in. It's all about the quality of the service. And Lockyer still forward, threw himself at it, swiveled and turned the forehead. Luton lead it 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate, and they are less than 50 minutes away from a Wembley playoff final.
Guys, this is Davina. I need your help. 51% of the population will go through menopause. That's your partners, sisters, friends, co-workers, all navigating this huge change, yet often we feel like we're doing it alone. I want to bring men into the menopause conversation because your allyship is so important. My book, Menopausing, will tell you everything you need to know so you can understand and support the people you care about. Menopausing, out now.
Kickoff on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Are you in? Let's go. Play at ladbrokes.com. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
If you've spent money on tools, clothing, travel or food for work, you could be due $3,000 on average back from the taxman. Search Rift Tax Refunds today. Get that Rift refund feeling.
TalkSport Breakfast in partnership with Arnold Clark. Ultra smooth, seamless transmission between high-revving team talk and big club exclusives with super celebrity sports guests as standard. Plus, more goal talk to the gallon guarantee.
It's a thunderous belter!
Feel the driving force of the turbocharged TalkSport Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6 on TalkSport with Arnold Clark. Reserve your next car online with only a £99 deposit.
Here's football legend Jamie Redknapp for Skechers Arch Fit footwear.
Okay,
I know what you're thinking.
Begins today. Fees, T's and C's and eligibility criteria apply.
On DAB, online, and on your smart speaker.
Talk Sport. On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. The Sports Bar on Talk Sport.
All right, fans, here we go with the